There's one stock that is about to break out. It is a gold related stock. So Barron's, I'm not just here to pick on Barron's. There's been a lot of publications talking about how now is the time to go get in gold, buy gold, have an allocation to gold, diversify into gold. The time to buy gold was not, last week or the week before. It was like several months ago. So there's stories about people lining up to buy gold. Are they lining up to buy it? Are they lining up to sell it? I think if you're not taking a look at stocks that are, that do well when gold goes down, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. So this ticker is GLL. It's about as pure play, opposite gold stock as you can get, which is to say it actually goes up literally when gold goes down. So let's look at the stock. Let's talk a little about gold. Let's talk about stock prices going up when bond prices go down, and when that doesn't always, happen, like when the whole Liberation Day Trump tariffs happened. And let's help you find the next stock so you can buy it before it goes up. That is my mission. It's not financial advice, but give it my best shot.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 So look, here's the ticker. I'll give you the ticker right now. Traditionally, you would look at a stock like this, a ticker like this, and you would be like, this has to be some kind of joke, right? I mean, you're going to buy this. And you know what? The reason this thing is going down is because, not because it's a bad company. Now I'm on a 5-year chart. I was also going to look for a 20-year chart. It's not really like that. Like if we were to find a company that just sort of, trying to pick on a company here. Here's Peloton as an example, right? If we just cross out the part where, we printed all the money and everyone had stimmy checks and stuff and just go to the part where it cratered, right? That's not a company that looks super strong, right? And so GLL, well, the reason I'm talking about this as a buy idea is because of, well, not just because of what already happened. I'm kind of a little late to the punch already, but if you get too early, you might, jump in here and then get chopped out. This thing goes up when gold goes down, okay? This is gold futures, and big pullback on Friday. The thought is that these are going to go down. And so a way to think that that's going to happen is to put money into GLL, okay? So what's going on here? If we knew exactly when gold would go up based on when the stock market went up, we would be very wealthy, okay? But that's not always clear. If we look at gold over the last year, basically went up the entire time, with the exception of when we got the rebound in the stock market. You could say what was happening here was money was flowing out of gold and into the market because Trump was saying it's all good, tariffs are not going to happen, it's all fine. And then when we got to these overheated levels, which seemed overheated at the time, money flowed into gold after we'd gone sideways this whole time. We had a breakout, but the market still went up, okay? So now we don't know, no one knows what's going to happen, okay? All we try to do with these ideas is say, hey, 60% of the time, I think this is what's going to happen. And if you do that enough, eventually you start to really outpace someone who's only right, half the time, which is someone who just doesn't know anything about anything, right? So there was a little uncertainty on Friday with the market pulling back. There's some chop. Maybe we go sideways for a couple weeks or months, really. And so if that's the case, what's going to happen to everything else? Is gold going to unwind? it's hard for gold to be the safe haven because it just went up 30% plus in a few months. Now, does everything always behave? Not really at all. This is the 10-year. This is the 10-year bond price. So there's less demand for these bonds as the stock market has gone up. That's generally what we expect to be the case. Money flows out of bonds and into stocks. Now, when Trump did the whole tariff thing, we got a little scared because the stocks went down and the bonds went down. So other countries didn't want to buy our bonds. That was scary, okay? And that could happen again. That's basically the Ray Dalio 10-year cycles, 10 years where the stock market goes sideways, the end of an era where the next Roman Empire, the next empire to fall, propaganda, life's mission to get that message out there, whatever you want to call his message, that's basically what's going to happen. He's saying is at some point bonds are going to go down, meaning the other countries don't want to buy our bonds. They don't think we're worth the money. They don't think we're going to be able to pay them back, or that our money's not going to be worth anything. So the dollar is also going to be not worth anything, is another way to say that. And then the stock market is also going to go down. So that's like worst case scenario. But right now, stock market just keeps going up. Our current administration basically voted for more money. Republicans were like, yeah, we're the, lower the debt party, but you know what? Not actually. So they were like, let's just vote a big, beautiful bill and just keep the money flowing. And I don't really care, like, as to ally myself with one side or the other. I'm just saying that's what happened, and stocks went up, okay? Money keeps going up. Money keeps going up. The data center names keep going up, particularly Iron is a data center name. Mara, Riot became data center names, switching from Bitcoin mining. All these hyperscaler compute names, as well as the quantum names, RGTI, RIONQ, QBTS, all of these speculation names, Archer Aviation, Joby, Electric Vertical Takeoff, Rare Earth names, CRML most recently, USAR, MP Materials, and then some semiconductor names that support the data centers, NVTS, and then the semi names themselves, CRDO, AVGO to a lesser extent, and then the big dogs, NVIDIA, AMD, ALAB, somewhat, LRCX, somewhat, AMAT, 2. Money flew into these companies as the stock market went up. The stock market went up as money flew into these companies. Say it however you want to say it. Without data centers, our GDP in the first half of 2025 was apparently 0.2%. So the economy is AI. AI is the economy. We can hate on it. We can say there's not going to be enough breakthroughs to actually keep using it. Everyone's using ChatGPT, maybe throwing them $20 a month just to not get left behind. Accenture, a consulting company, all these big consulting companies of humans that are not the McKinseys and Bains of the world are spending a bunch on AI. Oracle is the beneficiary, and they have to spend money on AI because they're going to get wiped out otherwise. So no one really is actually using AI to a crazy extent besides, some of the unicorn companies that are going to, quote unquote, achieve super intelligence, or AGI. That's the Perplexities, the Anthropics, the OpenAIs of the world. Meanwhile, the legacy software companies like Duolingo are going to get crushed. You see this thing coming down. maybe the Coursera's, the online course e-learn companies, aren't going to do well because AI is just going to eat them alive. Eventually, ServiceNow, Salesforce are going to get consumed by OpenAI, ChatGPT, etc. Unless they invest a bunch in AI as well. So AI is like the economy right now. And so as long as that's not a bubble, we're not in a bubble. This isn't 2000. This isn't 1999. This isn't the calm before the storm. Why does all of that last 5 minutes I've spent talking about that matter? Because if all that comes to pass and the Ray Dalio thing happens, yes, people are going to buy gold, probably, right? Or they're going to buy Bitcoin. You know, the young people are going to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? But the boomers who have most of the money still, it hasn't really trickled down yet to the heirs, are going to buy gold. And so if that happens, that's going to happen. But right now, I don't think that's going to happen, all right? Because right now we have a situation where gold went parabolic and the thing has to cool off at some point. Everyone's saying to buy gold right now, and we're not there right now. OpenAI is still the darling. ChatGPT is still thought of to be the company, the next trillion-dollar company, even though they have like 10 billion of revenue or something like that, and they're losing money. Because every time someone at a company opens up ChatGPT, they have 10 to 100 times the amount of queries they can ask it that aren't being serviced. So, or they have an API, agent or whatever that is going to be their new Zapier and make all the connections and do all their automated workflows for them. So they don't have to pay some middle level or junior person to set up Salesforce or do it. ChatGPT is going to do it for them. As long as that's still the belief that that is the growth story, people aren't going to rush into gold. So this thing's going to come down. So that was a massive preamble just to say that I think this thing could come down maybe 10, 20%, whatever it is, down to here, 15%. So a way to buy that move down is to buy a GLL. And you can see a lot of volume coming in here. That's people already doing what I'm saying. So the amount of volume on gold futures themselves is not huge. Like there's definitely more volume, maybe as much as double a month ago. But it's not crazy compared to some of these inverse ETFs, which is what GLL is. So this thing, people are buying this thing. People think gold is going to turn. And that's the idea I'm giving you today. So GLL is the idea, and you can risk this top. That's the idea. Maybe it will go a little higher. You'll have to risk another one, or you'll get chopped out. You have to try again. But give yourself a couple tries, not more than that. If gold just steamrolls on, hey, I'm wrong just like everyone else a lot of the time. But if not, you buy this, you risk a little bit, and this thing could go up whatever percent, 10, 15%, super relatively smoothly, just because it's gone down for so long. In other words, gold has gone up for so long, and it's probably going to have a little retracement here. So that's the idea. If you like these ideas, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe. And if you want to see the best idea as soon as I have it and not get overwhelmed with all these different ideas I throw at you, and some of these ideas are delayed because I have to put up the videos out late because YouTube gets overwhelmed if I put everything out at the same time, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can ask me questions too there. I'm not as active in the YouTube comments because, as you can imagine, the comments are all over the map in terms of like utility to me and to the person asking the question. I think use code Q4, you get 20% off. You try it out for $25 or less with that code, really, and you get 7 days to try it out. So I'm always available. in that group. Hope this helps.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This is Sam Putnam.